Hello. Hi, everyone. I hate to be between you and lunch, but there's an interesting story I would love to share with you. So, first of all, when it goes to biology, especially on genomic side, we really missed the big data revolution and what we can really enable. We are living in the whim of molecular world. The chance of getting cancer during the lifetime for us is 40%. But when you look at the drug development for the cancer, the chance is like 10% success rate in the drug development. And the early detection of cancer, on the effective treatment, on effective drug development, and beyond, you need genomic information. Cancer is not the only area that you need genomics. Prenatal is another area. But it's not also only belonging to, for whatever reason, my presentation disappeared. But it's not only related to the genomics for healthcare application. There's a lot of other problems in the world that you definitely need genomic information. That's the molecular information that, the world around us is all biology. We have 38 trillion cells in our body. We have more microbes in the gut than a cell in the body. And everything around us is made of molecular information, biology. Like this shirt is made of cotton that has DNA. The coffee that you're drinking has DNA. It's unbelievable to see how much information is around us, and today we are quite blind to this information. So the question is that how we can really enable this molecular information level. And one of the other applications to talk about, not talking about the security and forensics, is actually in the agricultural biology area. How you can really make you provide sustainable food for the world. You wanted to really monitor. I'm not talking about GMO. You're talking about you wanted to know if the health of the crop or wheat that you're planting through the season is really going to be sustainable. For all of that, you need that. Where we are today. Today, with all of the advancement in genomics and DNA sequencing, less than 0.005% of the world has done their genome sequenced. How many of the people in the audience have really done sequencing? We are getting cancer. We're getting all type of weird diseases, MS, Parkinson, Alzheimer, et cetera. But that technology is not really available yet. And when you look at the molecular research labs, there's about 400,000 of them around the globe. Less than 1% of them can afford these. So in our view, the problem will be solved if you can make a transition from mainframe to a mobile. Similar to what happened in the PC industry, in the digital information, which we moved from the mainframe to mobile. In the left side, you can see this is basically market leader Illumina machine. That's a 700-pound machine, 50 by 40 by 30 by 40 by 50 inches sizes, and it requires a special lab, and it costs about $1 million. That's a high-sec machine. Not every lab can really afford that. In the right side, you see what we developed at Genapsys. And that device is really going to enable that transition from mainframe to mobile. Today market from the UBS and Wall Street Journal, et cetera, this is about 23 billion in 2015. It's growing to about 50 billion. A lot of people believe this is a much larger market, $100+ billion market when you look at the genomics. We were thinking about this problem, how we can solve and move to decentralization. In top of a high-quality system, you need to be able to be low cost, fast, easy to use, and portable. And that's really what we developed at Genapsys. If you have that, then you can enable many areas, as we talked, not only healthcare, but different areas from forensics to food testing and biofuels. So the product that we developed is a portable sequencer that I have one with myself in this bag, that you can basically have it, and you can really have it in the field. And this is a very different ballgame than any mainframe machines that require a massive lab. This machine that I can hold it with one hand is similar to your iPhone, which is more powerful than the computer that you had back in 1990. This machine is more powerful in the sense of the capabilities, accuracy, speed, and cost efficiency than the massive giant machines in the market. It actually doesn't need a big server. It directly connects to the cloud. It doesn't need the massive requirements of a PhD in genetics or genomics to be able to run the machine and 6 months of training. Like we have customers and collaborators coming from Stanford and other places, get trained in a couple of hours, and after that, they're extremely comfortable to run the machine. And right now here, there's no podium, so I'm not going to be able to show you how to use the machine, but afterward, I'm happy to talk to you more on that front. But that's really what can enable the transition that we're talking about from mobile to mainframe. So I mentioned that it's in many areas that really the customer care: cost, speed, flexibility, and ease of use, and accuracy. That's the 4 areas that you really care about. We are the best one out there that can enable the revolution of genomics. So this has been over a decade journey. The project started back in 2004 when I was a PhD student back at Stanford. And over a course of about 6 years, we developed the core technology associated to this platform that we are building. And after that, from 2010, we incorporated Genapsys and licensed the early technology from Stanford. And over the past 5.5 years, we brought in about $100 million in the development of the technology. 50 million of that was from the venture capitals, from Uri Miller for Series B, from Dicheng Capital, from IPV, from Stanford University and hospitals. Actually, we were not specifically at Plug and Play, but Saeed and Rahim had the personal investment in the company in the seed round, etc. And then we are great friends. Over the past number of years, we've been developing this platform and getting now ready for commercialization. We have a massive traction from the market, and right now, actually, we are in the process of a Series C round, which is going to be if somebody would be interested, I'd be happy to talk more about that. We are working on these with the thought leaders in the field, from George Church of Harvard and MIT to Ron Davis, director of Stanford Genome Center, to Mike Snyder, who is the chair of Stanford Personalized Medicine Center and Genomics. I love the way that Mark looked at the market and says that if you look at one small section of the market, if you wanted to do routine testing, genomic testing, once a year, only for industrialized world, that's about 1 billion people. Today, cost is multi-$1,000. We can bring the cost down a lot. At the $100 a pop, a test basically, for 1 billion people, that's $100 billion revenue. That's for this very small section of the market. And that's really where the revolution, similar to the digital revolution happened back in 1980, we've seen that this very similar thing happening in the genomic era. The business model, there's basically razor blade aspects of it. We're selling the machine, and there's consumables associated to it for every run. On top of it, we are the only platform which we can collect massive amount of information, genomic information, in scale. Because other platforms are centralized. They're in the lab-based. And that enables a lot of opportunities. We're now going to be able to, for the first time, really understand underlying biology and what is really related to cancer and other diseases. In addition to the cloud and the database, there are other applications that our sensor, basically, and then our technology can enable. I'm not going through the detail of it, but there's actually a Harvard business case talking specifically about Genapsys business models, and you can look it up over there. So I just described what it can enable, both for B2B and later on for B2C. It's a cycle, it's an ecosystem can be enabled with that, which related to also this whole revolution of Internet of Things. You can, on top of the discussion that we heard earlier, not only you look at the health information from the blood level and EKG level, but you look at it at the molecular level. You look at it at the genome level, DNA level. And that's really the underlying foundation of what's going on with us. So I wrap up with saying that I believe each decade has a defining technology. Back in 80s, that was semiconductor. In 90s, that was PC. In 2000, that was internet. And I think the decade that we live now, with all of the advancement of the semiconductor and computing, is the genomic and molecular information era. And I think what we developed at Genapsys can enable that revolution. Thank you very much.